This is the easiest villager trading hall for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to allow you to get the absolute lowest prices on all of your villager trades, so settle in and let's build. Alright, just a few things that we should go over before we start building. First off, make sure you build this farm at least 150 blocks away from all iron farms. That way you don't mess up your iron farms, because if you build this too close, then your iron farms are going to break, so that's important. Also, make sure you have access to the difficulty of your game, or your game is already in hard mode, because this needs to be in hard mode in order for your villagers to survive the zombification. If you don't have it in hard mode, there's a chance that you will lose your villagers, so it's very, 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 very important that you are in hard mode. With that out of the way, we're going to grab our building blocks now, and I'm going to make this look a little nice, so I'm going to be using logs, but you can use whatever building blocks you would like, and we're just going to start off with a simple frame, just like this, and then again, I'm using logs, so I'm going to make it look a little fancy, and I'm going to place some blocks just like this. Next, we're going to remove 3 block strips that are 2 blocks deep in every one of these little stalls right here, so we're just going to do this for every one. And we're going to place down a piston facing upwards behind our posts, just like this. We're then going to grab our blocks, and we're going to place down 2 blocks right here. This block may be visible depending on the workstation, so just keep that in mind. That is a visible block, and we're going to place down all of the blocks across here. We're going to come over to this side now, and we are going to grab our levers and redstone dust. Place down your redstone dust at the bottom of each of these things here. And then again, we're just going to place down our blocks. These are definitely visible. This is the floor of your base or wherever you have this stationed. So keep that in mind as well. We're then going to place down levers in front of each of these stations. And we can go ahead and flick each of these levers so that the pistons are up here so that your villager is going to be standing looking at you. Next, we're going to come to the other side of the farm. So this is the side that you're going to see that you're trading with your villagers. So come to this side without the levers. And we're going to remove 2 blocks next to each of these pistons, just like this. And then go ahead and connect them up into this shape, so that your zombie is going to be down here running around, and he's going to path find to whatever villager is lowered on their piston. Now, if you're building more than 3 stations, so let's say you have 9 villagers, I would say if you have 9 villagers, you only really need 1 zombie, but if you're going to have more than 9 villagers and you're building a bunch of these stations, then you might have to do a little bit of work to see how far the zombie is going to path find to. But I think that's a good rule of thumb. You should have 1 zombie for every 9 villagers, and they're just going to go in this little chamber right here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our blocks, and we're going to place down blocks going across each of these, and we're going to bring these to be 3 blocks tall. Next, we're going to fill in this back wall right here with blocks as well, and then we're going to fill in the roof. Now, I'm going to use slabs because it's going to make it a little easier to get our villagers in here, but you can use regular blocks if you would like. And then we're also going to grab our beds, and we're going to place down 3 beds just like this. Now again, I'm using logs just to make it look fancy, but I'm just going to place down my logs going across like this, remove these 2 blocks, and then have logs going across like this, and just like that. Now it looks a little bit nicer. Again, I don't really know in which case you would use 3 villagers. You're probably going to want to use like more than 3, but this is just a little design that I think would look nice if you're struggling to figure out how to design your villager trading hall. I'm a huge fan of logs. The next thing we're going to do is grab our anvil, and we're going to name a name tag whatever you want to name your zombie. You have to name your zombie or it will despawn. I'm going to name it a classic. It's going to be named Bob. And now the next thing to do is wait for it to be nighttime so that we can get our zombie in here. A quick little trick is I'm just going to remove these blocks to create a staircase so we can get in here. And then I'm going to create another staircase out of here. And now what we can do is when it's nighttime, we can have our zombie chase us. We'll go under here, we'll name tag him, jump up here, and then block him so he can't get out. Alright, it is now nighttime. As you can see, this zombie is aggravated at me. So, oh, Jesus. Okay. And we're just going to lure him down here. I'm going to go ahead and name tag him, run out, grab my blocks, and block him. Oh, geez. Let's do it again. I might actually die to these phantoms. Block him, block him! I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not on my best. There we go. Now he's blocked in here. And let me just block him on this side as well. So now he's trapped, and I am going to get back in creative mode. All right, I'm also just gonna quickly replace these blocks because that's gonna bother me. I want it to look a little bit more professional. But as you can see, it's a little hectic to get the villager in here, but now he's in here, and I actually would prefer it if these parts weren't here. So I guess I will, there we go, and replace that. There we go. Now he's in here, we can go ahead and lock him up. And now the next step is to get our villagers in here, which is actually pretty easy. All right, if you want an absolutely zero hassle way to get your villagers into the pods, I'm about to show you arguably the best method. As you can see here, I have a railroad, which is leading into the slot that I want to put our villager into. And then this is a 2x2, and then we have this opening where we're going to drive the boat. Now we're going to make this 2 blocks high here, and then we're going to throw down a slab right here. We're going to leave this backside open for now, and then we're going to have our boat. Now you're going to bring this boat to your villager breeder or to your whatever village you steal them from, but they're going to be not a green coat because green coats aren't going to get jobs. So we're going to have 2 villagers that we stole or we bred, and they're going to be here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place a lead on the boat. And this is honestly one of the better additions to Minecraft. So now we can have these guys on our boats. Let's just remove our rail really quick. And we're going to go ahead and unlink the lead. We're going to replace our slab now. We're going to get in here and we are going to push the boat because I didn't bring it far enough so that we can fill in this wall here. We are then going to break the boat. We're going to have both of our villagers here. And now this is the important part. We're going to take our lectern, we're going to place down our first lectern, and we're going to wait to see which guy links up. So this guy is linked up to this lectern. Perfect. We're going to push him over in the corner. We now want to grab this villager, and we're going to place down our minecart now, and we're going to get this villager. We are going to get this villager inside of the minecart. In fact, we might be able to place it there. Perfect. We can now leave the area here. You could place down a ladder to get out if you really want to not remove blocks. And now that he's over here, this villager is linked up to this lectern. So we know that this villager is going to link up to whatever workstation we give him now. So we're going to push him. We're going to push him into the hole here. There we go. And now once he's in the hole here, we're going to place down our slab again. And we're going to remove this minecart. So now he's inside of the chamber. We're going to place down whatever workstation we want him to have, in this case a lectern. And now we can trade with him. So we're going to lock in this trade by either buying a bookshelf or an emerald. So I'm going to grab that. All right, with my emeralds now, I'm going to lock in his trade with the bookshelf. He is now forever locked to this workstation. You can go ahead and remove this if you'd like. Leave it if you'd like. It really doesn't matter. Maybe if you want, baby zombie protection, this works, but I think it's kind of ugly. I'd rather see his beautiful, glorious face. So, yeah, this guy is now locked, and even once he converts, he's going to remain with these trades, and he's going to remain linked to this workstation. We now have this guy who's linked up to this workstation. We can go ahead and remove it. He's going to lose his job. We're then going to place down our second minecart. We're going to redirect this minecart rail to the next one here. We're going to get this villager inside of the minecart. Get in there. Then we're going to push him. He's then going to go into this thing, and we're going to repeat the exact same process. Slab, break the minecart, place down our workstation, and then lock in our trades. Now, of course, if you're not happy with these first trades, especially if you're using a farmer and you want just carrot trades, then you could obviously just remove this workstation and get new trades by cycling the workstation. But this guy is now locked in. And now we can get our next villager. Another method, if you don't want to use this boat method, is we can actually take these rails and we can just remove this entire structure and just take one villager at a time from our breeding station, which is far enough away that when we place down a workstation, only one villager will be able to link at it, and we're going to take them one by one. The issue is when you bring multiple villagers at the same time, you want to make sure which villager is linked up to which workstation. Now, I apologize for the lengthy explanation, but many people, including myself, have large difficulties moving villagers and getting them to properly link. So I hope that section helped, despite how long it was. Alright, I'm going to apologize because I actually made a mistake when building this, but it's a really easy fix, so just bear with me. First off, I like to place down 2 chests here, one for our splash potions of weakness and one for our golden apples. Now the mistake I made is if you come around back here, you're going to see that there are 2 changes I made. Firstly, remove these blocks because the zombie actually has to attack the villager from a diagonal in order for him to properly reach, and we also have to replace this bottom block with a slab. So originally it was like this is what our chambers looked like, and all you're going to do is remove these 2 blocks and replace this block with a slab. An easy fix, but annoying nonetheless, I do apologize. And then you can just go ahead and fill in this if you would like. Once you have that done, we are going to come around to the front here, and as you can see, I already started curing one of these villagers, and I just turned this one into a zombie villager as well. So let's actually bring him up. All you have to do is throw a splash potion of weakness at him, and then give him a golden apple, and that's going to begin the conversion here, and he is going to turn into a regular villager. Alright, so while we wait for them to convert, you'll see that this is our regular villager who has regular trades here. This guy is converting, this guy is converting, but the awesome thing is that even if, oh, well, there we go. This guy converted, he's relinked to the bed. Now, if we go and look here, you're going to see that his trades are even cheaper. So now he sells bookshelves for 3 emeralds. We can go ahead and grab ourselves a bookshelf at a discounted price. Now, the awesome thing is even though we cured this guy, if we come over to this villager, he got a discount as well. It's not nearly as much, but because he's in the vicinity of a villager that got cured, this guy also has discounts, which is awesome. Now, one thing that does suck is Mojang removed the ability to have villagers go down to 1 emerald trades. You can only cure a villager once, meaning, well, like, you can cure him as many times as you would like, but like this guy will not have any more reduced trades. This is as far as his trades will go down, which does suck, but I mean, this is the best we've got. Again, 1 emerald trades, those were OP, that was amazing. But this guy has lower trades. If we go ahead and convert him by dropping him down, the zombie is going to attack him and convert him now into a zombified villager. We can go ahead and lift him up, and you'll see that this guy, we can now go ahead and splash our weakness potion and our golden apple, and once he's cured, he's going to have lowered trades as well. Now, one more thing I am curious about, because I actually haven't looked at this or thought about it, is if this guy then gets cured in the vicinity of this guy who has the reduced trades, I'm wondering if we can actually get these trades lower because this guy was cured in the vicinity. Like, I'm wondering if those 2 things can stack. So that would be interesting to see. So I'm just going to wait a couple more seconds. But these prices are going to go up. So the more you trade with this guy, let's say I abuse this bookshelf trade, or more realistically, you know, I try and get better trades. Like, as you can see here, this was 14 emeralds, now it's 1. So let's actually just trade with this guy as much as I possibly can to see if I can get him to level up. So as you can see here, for 1 emerald, we can get a flame book, which is cool. So if I was to abuse that trade, the more I do that trade, the higher the price would get. And in fact, just by doing this, once he upgrades the price, yeah, okay, it didn't change. But eventually these prices are going to go up. So just keep that in mind. And once they go up and you're not happy with the price anymore, you can then reduce them back down to whatever they were originally. So in this case, 3 emeralds for a bookshelf. Alright, so we just had our second villager convert now, and if we take a look, you'll see he also has these reduced trades, so in this case it's also 3 emeralds for a book. I'm guessing that's probably just the default for the librarian. If we take a look at this guy, yeah, I didn't think that they would stack, but I was curious to see if they did. So curing a villager is actually the lowest possible trades that you will get, so 3 and then 18. Maybe if you had the hero of the village effect, it would also reduce, but I'm going to say probably not based on that experiment right there. So I would say 3 emeralds for bookshelf. That's the lowest you're going to get. And then again, that's by curing the direct villager. But again, if you don't have enough golden apples or weakness potions to be, you know, reducing all the trades of all of your villagers, then just curing 1 is honestly great because all of the other villagers' trades will go down as well. Alright, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is 1UpMC, and I will catch you in the next one.